Hi first graders, happy Monday to you. We have some brand new foundations things that we'd like to share with you this week. Up until now we've been doing a lot of review on our foundations activities, lots of work with suffix S, and this week we have two brand new suffixes to teach you about. The first one is the suffix ed, and the suffix ed can be added to the end of an action word or a verb. And what that does is it puts that verb in its past tense. So for example, if I were to write the base word jump, if I add an ed to this word, it now becomes the word jumped. We also have another suffix ing that we're going to be learning about this week. Ing will change the tense of a verb to something that's happening right now. So if I add ing to my base word jump, it now becomes jumping. Another example of a base word that we could add an ed and ing to would be the word fill. If I add the suffix ed to my word fill, it now puts that action word into its past tense, filled. If I add ing to this base word, my word now becomes filling. So just like with the suffix s, when you have a suffix at the end of a word, to mark that suffix up, you're going to circle your suffix and underline your base word. Just like that. Circle your eds, underline the base word fill, circle the ing, and underline the base word fill. So those are the two new suffixes that we're learning about this week and how you can mark them up. Another thing that I'd like to show you is that the suffix ed, when it's added to a word, can have three different sounds, and it depends on the word ending as to which sound it will say. So sometimes ed can sound like id at the end of a word, sometimes it can sound like d, and other times it can sound like t. So for example, if I write this word, lift, and add my suffix ed, the word is lifted. So the ed is saying id at the end of that word. Another example would be this word, hint. If I add ed to the base word hint, it becomes hinted. Now for the D sound, if I write out the word call and add an ed, the suffix sound is d in the word called. Same thing for this word here, spill. If we add the ed on, becomes spilled. And that ed is saying the d sound in those words. And last is our t sound. So here's my word check. If I add a suffix ed, it now becomes checked. And you can hear that t sound of ed at the end of that word. And the last word is the word kiss. If I add an ed to the end of kiss, it becomes kissed, and you can hear that it's making that T sound. So this week your lessons will be focusing on that suffix ing and ed, and that's it.